Hi. So I decided to start a little video on the kitchen remodeling project that I'm going to do. So this is just saying hello, and that's what this is about. I'm going to just show you my kitchen now, maybe show you the wallpaper I'm planning to use and give you an idea of what I'm going to do so you can see the before and after of what things look like and what I do. Okay, so this is the wallpaper that I'm going to be using to do accents in this in my new kitchen. As you can see, it's got monkeys and lemurs. I'm so excited about it. It's so beautiful, and passion flowers, and there's more monkeys. I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be so beautiful. This is my little dog Peaches. Peaches is going to be in this video. Hi, Peaches. Hi. So this is my kitchen. My house is really tiny, and I have a tiny kitchen. I decided not to clean it all up. I mean, other than it just being tidy, I didn't put away all the clutter. Because one of the things about having a tiny house is that the clutter is unavoidable. Like, for instance, the way I've got things on the counters is really unavoidable because I cook a lot. I love to cook. I have a lot of cooking. I have a lot of cooking appliances, and most of my larger cooking appliances are in this little cupboard that I know it's older. I wouldn't be able to guess how old. It's the original, you know, green paint that was used a lot pre-1940s. So I figure it's probably, you know, somewhere 40s, 50s, maybe earlier. It has in it my ice cream maker, my deep fat fryer, and my juicer, and my vintage waffle iron. On top is my espresso machine. That's a tea cozy. So a lot of my stuff is thrifted. I thrift avidly. I love it. It's like a Easter egg hunt for grown-ups. So I got these mirrors, and this mirror from the thrift store. This is not thrifted. This is it's a memory. It comes from the house of someone I knew. His name was Roy, and his family were pioneers, and this was built 1880s, maybe a little later, maybe even the early 1900s. It's shiplap, and it was built by his father, who was a carpenter, and it was in the bathroom, but I use it for my spice cupboard, and I love it. I just love it, and it reminds me of Roy every time I look at it. So that's what that is. Some of my little paintings on the wall, and I'm not gonna change the yellow wall color or the white end walls. Those are gonna stay the same. The only thing I'm changing in this project are the cupboard doors. So I'm gonna put wallpaper on the center raised area and paint. This is gonna stay white, and I'm gonna paint the outer trim red. The other thing I'm going to do that on all the doors. The other thing I'm going to do is, this is going to be red, just the raised area, and this is going to be red, and this is going to be wallpaper. And they all have to be TSP'd and washed thoroughly before I can start doing anything on them. You know, as far as my tiny house living, like, I have all kinds of storage up here. Most of these cupboards are storage, not food. I don't have a lot of room for food in the kitchen, so I have a little pantry area in my mudroom, which is behind us. This is, I can't get this off. It gets darker and darker. It's from cooking, and it just is like the nature when you have a little tiny apartment-sized stove shoved up against a full-size fridge. This is a freezer, and it doubles as counter space. It's not much good to work on, so I don't worry about keeping it clear. This is a drop leaf table under here. that comes from, oh, maybe you can't quite see it. It's in rough shape. It was outside for a while. It's also about 100 years old. It comes from a place called Sointula, and it was handmade by a Canadian man for his wife named Isaacson. And so that's another like nostalgic piece that I really like. This is Ronan. Ronan isn't supposed to be on the counter. Ronan, get down. Go on. Out. Out. Out, out, out. Bad kitty. He's my surly child. He's always in trouble. This is a little antique wooden chair that I painted. I like it. It's really cute. I like how it turned out. I'm happy with it. I guess that about covers it. I'm saying an awful lot. I guess that about covers it. A lot of my stuff is vintage. I also collect like Le Creuset and cast iron, enameled cast iron. This isn't Le Creuset, but a lot of my stuff is. I guess that about covers it. So I can't really get started right away. I have to TSP all the cupboards to start. So I'll try and get to that the next couple days. And then I got to buy the red paint, which is going to be fun because red is a hard color to paint. So we'll see what I can get in a quart. Because not all, I used to work in a hardware store in a paint department, and I know that not all colors of red can be made in a quart size, and I don't want a gallon. I don't need a gallon. So we'll see what color I can get. I know what color I want, but we'll see if I can get it. And that about covers it. The red I want is like this color of red. I want that color of red. And I think the curtains are going to be redone. These are 1950s nylon with flocking, but the flocking is actually coming off on my fingers because it's so old. So I'm going to replace them. It's kind of a shame. I love them, but the cats have totally clawed them and they're done. So I'm going to put cotton curtains in, and I will show you the curtains when I get them done. They'll probably be the first thing to get done. And if you can see through the window the wall of the house across from me, well, my wall is a lot like that, and I'm going to ask permission to, I rent, I don't own, I'm going to ask permission to make my wall into a mural, and that's another thing that I'd like to make a video about, is like painting a mural on the wall, if I can get them to let me do it. All right, and that's about it. So I will post this to YouTube and get started on the next, on documenting the next stage of the RV. Okay, have a nice day. I will talk to you soon. Okay, so this is just a little bit in closing. I'm just gonna say, like, I know my house isn't spotlessly clean. I don't think that I really care. If you can see that I live in my house, I want it to look like I live in it. I don't want it to look like a showroom or like nobody lives here. This is my real life, and you know how I live, and I like clutter. I'm not into minimalism. I love my clutter. It makes me creative, and I have like a lot of different art stuff and art forms that I fit into my tiny little space. And that's probably why I haven't chosen to live in an actual tiny house, because I wouldn't have room for a studio. And I plan to show you my studio as well, which is going to be fun because it's so tiny and you won't believe the stuff stacked up the walls. But yeah, it's just a fun project. It's just to have fun and share what I do and what my, you know, my creative process is and what my creative space looks like. So I know I have lots of friends who invite me into their homes to, you know, see their studios and look at their art, and I love seeing people's studios. And I think that, you know, the house is kind of an extension of the studio kind of idea. I love seeing the inside of people's houses too. It's kind of fun. It's curious. It's curiosity, right? Like, what you think about your friends is like, oh, I wonder what their studio looks like. I wonder what their creative space looks like. I mean, is it really neat and tidy, or is it super messy? And so this is kind of like feeding into that fascination of like what other people's studio space looks like. And to be honest, my entire house is a studio. I make art in every room in my house except the bedroom. I don't usually do. I actually had to make a personal rule, never to take any artwork of any kind or do any artwork or store any artwork in my bedroom, so that when I'm exhausted because I've been like working on something all day or 4 days, and I want my bedroom to be perfect so that I can just go in and crash whenever I want, and not have to move a pile of, you know, stuff off my bed before I can go to sleep. So, you know, I do actually keep my bedroom really just so. But other than that, it's like I make art in my kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and studio. And also out in the yard and other places too. So I think that when you really get into like creating a lot of different kinds of things, that just happens, because, you know, different projects require different things. My cat is deliberately trying to get me to yell at him, and I'm not going to yell at him. Not right now. I'll turn off the video first. Anyway, that's just a little outro, and if you want to watch more, you can like and subscribe. And I hope that you enjoyed this little video.